Hello, it is Whovian Monday, and today I will be talking about Time Heist, the 5th episode of Doctor Who Series 8. As always, spoiler warning, do not watch this if you haven't seen the episode. The story begins with the Doctor in Clara's flat. She is about to go on her second date with Danny, but the Doctor wants her to go on a day trip with him. The TARDIS phone rings, which confuses them because not many people have that phone number. Clara doesn't want the Doctor to answer it because something will happen, but the Doctor answers it anyway, and suddenly they're sat around a table in a room with two other people, and they're holding worms. The worms are memory worms which have deleted all their recent memories, so none of the people know how they got there. They hear recordings that they have all agreed to a memory wipe, and we meet the other two people around the table, who are Sai, an augmented human, and Sabra, a mutant human. They hear a recorded message from the architect saying that they are at the Bank of Karabraxos, which is the most secure bank in the universe. The architect wants them to follow his instructions and rob the bank. Sai downloads this information to his brain, and then bank security arrive. Then we cut to Miss Delphox, who is the head of bank security and wants a report from the security guys on the intruders. However, they have lost their memory due to the worms, and the Doctor and the others have escaped. Miss Delphox says they will need the teller. So the Doctor, Clara, Sai and Sabra are now running down a corridor. The Doctor is in charge. We learn that Sai is a gamer slash hacker slash bank robber who was in prison, and that Sabra can replicate the owner of living cells. They use this ability so that Sabra can take on the disguise of a bank customer, and they enter the banking floor. The banking floor is locked down, and the teller and Miss Delphox arrive. The teller is an alien with eyes sticking out the side of his head, and he is obviously a prisoner of the bank. Miss Delphox locates a bank customer who she says is guilty. The teller can detect guilt and feasts off it. He turns the guilty bank customer's brain to soup, and then they take him away. The Doctor and the others enter a safety deposit box. Sabra uses her disguise to bring up a suitcase from the vaults below, and this suitcase contains a bomb, the Doctor thinks. The Doctor says there must be something in this bank which they all want, which is why they agreed to take on this mission, and then he blows up the floor. They escape through the hole before security arrives. They find another suitcase which contains 6 little vials. The Doctor says he doesn't know what they are, but Sabra says that he is lying. Sai is glitching due to stress and needs to charge, so Clara stays with him. She learns that he was interrogated in prison and had to delete his memories of his family and friends in order to protect them. The Doctor and Sabra are now in a corridor, and the Doctor says that the little vials are an exit strategy of sorts. Sabra says she hates her mutant gene because it makes her lonely. Clara and Sai catch up with them, and in the bank prison cells they find the brain soup guilty bank customer guy. Then they go through a little tunnel and find the teller, who is sort of imprisoned, cocooned in a little cell. It notices Clara, and the Doctor tells her to keep her mind blank so that it will not lock onto her thoughts and feast on them. They escape into another tunnel, but the teller locks onto Sabra's thoughts and begins to feast. The Doctor says that the exit strategy vials are shredders, which will give you a completely painless death, and Sabra uses one of those and disappears. Poof! The final 3 now escape into another corridor with a vault at the end, and they find another suitcase. This suitcase contains a bit of card which Clara takes, which has codes on it, and Sai downloads the information from the suitcase and learns that he must break into the vault. There are 24 lock codes to break. Miss Delphox has released the teller into the tunnels, and the Doctor says they have to split up to minimise the brain signals. Sai must stay where he is to break into the vault, and the Doctor gives him a shredder. The Doctor and Clara run off and split up. Sai successfully begins the vault unlocking process and then runs off as well. The teller has locked onto Clara's thoughts, but Sai causes a diversion. He downloads the thoughts of famous thieves and villains to his brain so that the teller will want to feast. There are a few little Doctor Who and Torchwood characters coming up on the screen during that bit, which I loved, including James Masters. I saw James Masters in there. The teller finds him, and Sai uses the shredder to sacrifice himself. His vault unlocking process has finished, but unfortunately the last lock hasn't opened. However, a solar storm suddenly happens and interferes with the bank systems, and the vault opens. The Doctor realises that the architect must be a time traveller to have known when the solar storm would hit. So they enter the vault and find the codes written on Clara's piece of card. They find a neophyte circuit which can replace lost data for Sai's lost memories, and they find a gene suppressant for Sabra. The thing that they want must be in the PV, private vault. They are caught by the teller and taken to Miss Delphox. They discover that the teller is the last of its kind, and they discover that Miss Delphox is scared of her boss, Karabraxos. She and the teller leave, and she tells the guards to dispose of the Doctor and Clara. However, the guards are actually Sabra and Sai. It turns out that the shredders were not actually actually shredders, but were in fact teleporters. They were teleported to an escape ship in orbit which had the TARDIS on it. They go down to the private vault and meet Carabaxos, who looks just like Miss Delphox. It turns out that Carabaxos had put clones in every facility, because if you want something doing, you better do it yourself. The Doctor realises that he is the architect and gives Carabaxos his phone number and also the information that he is a time traveller. The bank is about to blow up due to the solar storm, so Carabaxos leaves, taking some valuables with her. The Doctor tells her to call him when she is old and full of regret. They can leave with the teleporters, but the Doctor wants to know why they have 6. They have 2 more than they need. The Doctor needs his memory back, so decides to use the teller. The teller feasts on his memories, and the Doctor gets the teller to show him his blocked memories. And then we see Carabaxos phoning the Doctor when she is old. We see the Doctor recruiting Sai and Sabra. We see the Doctor recording the architect's message, and we see the Doctor placing the suitcases throughout the bank. The teller opens a vault in the vault, and we find another teller. It turns out that she was the leverage which got the teller to do all those horrible things for the bank. That's why there were 2 extra teleporters. This was never a bank heist, it was a rescue mission for a whole species. They leave, and we see the Doctor and Clara letting the tellers go on an empty, quiet world where they can be at peace. We say goodbye to Sai and Sabra, and then Clara leaves to go on her date. What did you think about this episode? I don't really have many strong feelings about it, to be honest. I didn't dislike it, but I didn't find it very exciting or particularly memorable. For me, it was sort of a episode. I wasn't too fussed about Carabaxos and Miss Delphox as villains go. I found them to be a bit bland, and it was a little bit repetitive with all of the tunnels and corridors and suitcases. I did, however, really like Sai and Sabra. I thought they were very interesting characters. I liked the idea of them. And I really liked when Sai called Clara out on making excuses for the Doctor. And I kind of wish they'd had a better, more important episode to be in, to be honest. I feel very similarly about Amara Karan's character in that episode with Amy and Rory and the hotel with the nightmares in it. I found it overall to be rather forgettable, but had a promising and interesting guest character who I sort of latched onto and would have loved to see more of. So yeah, that's sort of what I feel about this episode. I'm on the positive side. I liked it more than I disliked it. There was nothing in it that I really took issue with, and there were some things in it which I liked and thought were great. For instance, Sai and Sabra, I just liked them. I also liked the teller. I thought it was an alien that looked good, and I liked the concept of it. I thought it was good to have something new. I liked its gait, its walk. All good Doctor Who aliens need a good walk. Right, so the next episode, episode 6, is The Caretaker. It is written by Gareth Roberts and Stephen Moffat and directed by Paul Murphy. I shall, as always, read the synopsis. Clara has it all under control. Her life at school, her life in space, her new boyfriend and her mad old Time Lord. Everything is humming along just fine, so long as everybody never actually meets. And then one morning, just before assembly, Coal Hill School welcomes a new relief caretaker with a Scottish accent. With Clara's world about to explode around her, terrifying events near the school make it clear that the rest of the world is about to do the same. The Skovox Blitzer, maybe, is ready to destroy all humanity, and worse, any second now, Danny Pink and the Doctor are going to meet. We get into the halfway stage of Doctor Who now, and I think things are going to start picking up. Also, I'm pretty excited to see the Doctor and Danny meet. What did you think of Time Heist, and also, which one-off companion / guest would you like to return to Team TARDIS on a more regular basis? Because I really enjoyed Sai and Sabra and would love to have them back. I hope you have a good day and see you tomorrow.